All right, guys. So we're LevelUp.co. How many of you guys have kids? Wow. Children. All right. So the reason why we created this project was because we see. Well, I have a daughter. Sasha's a teacher, and Azu has a son as well. So. In Miami-Dade College, not Miami-Dade College, Miami-Dade educational system is really hard on kids, especially the public schools, really hard on teachers with testing. That's like one of the biggest things for Miami-Dade, and that's really all they care about sometimes. My daughter just completed a very hard third grade level study. Sasha's a third grade teacher, so she can talk a little bit more about that. So right now, the reason why we created LevelUp.co is to get kids around the ages of 3 to 5 or 6 to go ahead and start learning websites. Because when they start going to school, it's a requirement for them to learn how to use a computer. So most of the time, the kids are only on mobile phones. They don't really know how to use the mouse. They don't really know how to use the actual keyboard. So that was one of the issues my daughter had. She's great at the phone and downloading stuff and, and all those things. But when it came to actually using a computer itself, that's where she lacked that. So LevelUp.co is an educational platform that targets early learners in reading and math by providing instructional lessons in those core subjects. So as teachers, Sasha's going to tell you that they really, really emphasize in math and reading a lot. So it's like kid overload. So when you might have children, or for those that have young children, no Peppa Pig, no ABC Mouse, iReady, Momo, all these websites. So when you look at all these websites, they have a lot going on. And that's where I felt like a parent. I saw these websites and I didn't even know where to click half the time. I looked at it and I was like, okay, this is a lot. So I can't imagine a 3-year-old, 4-year-old looking at that and feeling overwhelmed themselves. Like, okay, where do I click? So we looked at that. Most of the websites, I would say 95% of the websites have all that content on just the homepage. So we wanted to focus on giving children a clean space to be able to focus and work on. There's a lot of, statistics. It says that despite the lack of consensus regarding readiness, a national survey of kindergarten teachers reported that 35% of their students were not ready to participate successfully in school. So that's a very big margin for that age group.
Lost in the games and going somewhere else than just learning something. So they get distracted by this old platform with colors and a lot of drawings and stuff and never go into the learning steps.
Yes, and I included the quote there about, I actually found this on NPR EDU, where it was saying that children who attend pre-K and VPK programs, they are more readily equipped for kindergarten than those who don't attend. So that's why our platform targets from the kindergarten, from the pre-K level, because those children who are going to VPK programs, at least they have something else to target at home that the parents can use, or if families can't afford VPK or pre-K, because sometimes they have to be paid for, at least parents and families have a platform that they can utilize to at least get those skills running. Because as an educator, the foundation is very important, and it has to start at a very early age.
So I'm the serious one. I started. Currently, right now, I'm a claims adjuster at an insurance company. So people hear about insurance, and that's something that they don't like to talk about. Nobody likes to talk about insurance. I actually got a scholarship to attend 4Geeks with Lesbians Who Tech, which is a big organization based off California and New York. So they actually helped me to get a scholarship to attend 4Geeks. I have been following 4Geeks for quite a while. But there's so many schools, I guess, or boot camps in Miami that you kind of don't really know where to go or who to choose. So you kind of go searching and you join the little Saturday stuff to see where you fit in. So the reason why I chose 4Geeks was, number one, you can tell they're really family oriented or friendly oriented. So I do appreciate that. And that's something to say, especially like here in Miami, you don't really get that vibe off a lot of businesses. So I can say that sold me. Also, I live down in Homestead, so making that trip 3 days a week was hard. Consistency, when you work a full-time job, have a family, it's hard as well. So, but they never gave up on me or my teammates, so I appreciate that.
Well, my name is Azul. I'm a graphic designer and fashion designer in Argentina. I'm a business manager too, and I have a kid. That's why I'm focused on this app. That is really cool. I joined 4Geeks because of Bridges Unite, woman networking company, and I just came here to add a skill, but I end up being the other way. So I'm kind of adding my skills to the coding, and I hope I can keep learning because I guess it's like a long path. You keep learning and like a lot of obstacles, and I'll be here for long, I think.
Sasha Costa, I'm a third grade teacher from Miami-Dade County Public Schools. I joined 4Geeks because just like Gloria was saying, I did my own research. I sat in, I went to WinCode to see what that was all about. Same idea, I didn't get that family oriented. It was more of like a business target. And also, I was also interested because of women in tech. And I've also learned myself that only 1% of Latinas make up the tech world. And I'm a Latina, and so I'm just trying to get a little piece of that money. So they weren't offering much. So when I did my research, 4Geeks was definitely trying to offer a full scholarship. So I applied for it. I didn't get it, but they still gave me a pretty good deal, so I can't complain, you know. So, and I'm actually currently the technology liaison at my school. So I'm very tech savvy, and I'm very interested in the fusion between education and technology.
So the technologies we used was JS, Bootstrap, React, Flask, and Python. A good quote is you will either step forward into growth or you will step backward into safety. So I know I can say for us three and most of our class that coming here every single day, putting in the work, putting in the hours, I mean, my wife can attest that sometimes I'll be studying till 2 a.m. trying to figure out just one problem, and it gets you. And sometimes you want to quit, but, then you get motivation in the Slack through the teachers, and they tell you come ask questions, and it's really nice. So using these technologies, sometimes when we hear about web development, we don't really look to see that there's different languages that you can use. So just learning this ourselves is really awesome. And Google, he's your friend. Fiona. So here's a demo.
Oh, you made our website.
We heard that one too.
So first of all, we needed to make it simple. We wanted really to get rid of all the pictures and stuff in other websites. We made it friendly, but still basic, and we want to keep it that way. So first of all, the user signs in here. When they sign in, they go to their lessons. Super simple. On the side, they have their profile to be changed, and when they're going to a lesson, right now we have only quizzes with videos, instructional for kids, and then the quiz to support that. So let's say they click on this one, it's the right one, it goes green, it goes to the next one, and on and on and on. And we really want to add like lessons for pre-K kids, like more sensory stuff, like just touching on colors and an application. And by now we only have these quizzes. Then you have the kid profile, edit profile, save changes, and go back to lessons. So really simple. Even if we going to add lessons, we're gonna keep it this simple.
Yeah, so we wanted to keep it simple because we just wanted to keep in mind our target audience, which is children. So we wanted to make sure the functionalities and the way that the students will use the website wasn't going to be too bombarded with too many things and taking away from the actual target of instruction.
And in the future, we are focused on schools and the relationship between teachers and parents, so they can have a platform where they can chat. For example, nowadays I pick up my son and they just drop me a letter like duties at home and I have to bring it back. So now they'll have a platform where they can talk and communicate and say you know your kid needs to learn more on this part, on the other, so they can have everything on one platform. Super safe. By now we have YouTube, and the idea is to have our own videos, so everything is safe and the kid doesn't go anywhere else.
So if you want to click on the math lesson, one of the biggest reasons why we decided to do a video, well, that one doesn't work, but one of the reasons why we decided to do a video is if you see kids nowadays, they're just stuck to the phone or the iPad, and they learn a lot faster just watching videos. And I mean, the market for kids doing, little videos about opening toys and, sharing slime and all that stuff, it's a very, very big business market. I heard there's this kid that's like a $13 million kid because all he does is just open up toys. So the reason, it's a very simple, Ryan, it's a very simple interface because of that reason. I'm going to go to the slide. So one of the biggest obstacles for us was get pull, get push. We hate that. Git commit. I know you're there just bashing the computer trying to figure out why either one's not working. So a lot of Git. And it's funny because sometimes you just Google, you put in the code, you Google, you put in the code, and then it works and you're like, okay, why? Who knows? So a lot of that frustration was just trying to make the code work. Because now you have this idea in your mind and you actually want to build it. So that was just another animal in itself. One of the things that we want to do in the future, like Azu said, is also make it mobile. iPad. Her son was actually watching the site, and he's like, "Oh, can I play it on my iPad?" And she's like, "No, not yet." Yeah, that's it. We want to give a thanks to the 4Geeks Academy and our cohort and Google and everyone else.